Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd just do a quick update on two. Well, I actually got like four different projects sort of going on. One of the projects is kind of for fun, and oh man, maybe it'll come into something that maybe could get in the game someday. I don't know. But the Emerald Dragon here by Fuji. Um, Basically, I'm in the process of converting this to a Kriel, and I'm thinking like a Kriel Elder look. Um, so, for reference, I spawned the Bahamut here, which is the only Kriel ship that's colored this way, with the different tones, not the purple. And so I was trying to like match what we've got here to fit this as well. But make some changes. Now, some things that I definitely know I was going to want to do on this to make it a little bit more usable, especially like a ship in the game, is one thing. Although the wings are really cool and proportional to the, the size of the dragon, I guess you could say. They're really bad for like gameplay because this big wing mass here will not allow for it to roll hardly at all. And it's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight to just pick up and move around. That's not really supporting any function. So I have not yet determined what I'm going to do about the wings. They're going to be a lot smaller though, and I think that's going to be kind of needed. So other things, where I have started now, and I'll show you this in just a second, is I started looking at the head. So the original head got kind of a long mouth, and you got the nostrils there, kind of neat. The eyes are kind of set back here. You got some horns. What I was looking at when I was doing this is I'm like, well, what if I took this whole eye thing and kind of pushed it forward, which would make the mouth look not quite as far out there like it is. A little bit more like T-Rex look versus alligator look. And trust me, I'm totally out of my element when it comes to doing like things like dragons. I don't have honestly any experience with it at all. So this is all new for me, and I'm of course a little scared of the project because of that. My element is more like doing like warships and things like that. So doing something like that's shapely, more organic looking creation, especially like something as complicated as a dragon, it scares me. Of course, it scares me. But with that being said, so that was one of the things I wanted to take a look at is could I reshape the head to make it look a little bit more dinosaur T-Rex like as opposed to alligator like. Another thing that I was looking at is the length of the neck and how the body comes into play over here. Now that in fiction, there's a lot of different types of dragons out there. You got skinny ones and fat ones and all kinds of different ones. So it all depends what influence of dragons you're looking at. Of course, none of them are actually real, but the best reference I can get is like actual dinosaurs to try to incorporate that, like a winged dinosaur. Um, so anyway, with those two things said, let's go over to this is the one I've been working on here. And what I have done is pretty much spent my time on the head so far. Not entirely sure I like everything I did, but I did move this whole structure here forward so it lays over the mouth more. And then I also gave the mouth an overbite. So I had extended this out by another block so I could have some teeth hanging down. I did the eyes a little bit different. And I also been incorporating a bunch more turrets. Well, a few more turrets. I won't say a bunch. So we got like a turret position there, another one on the bottom, and they all got their line of sight firing, so they won't be obstructed by anything. And then I actually stuck a turret in the mouth. The reason why I removed the launchers that were there and the other one is this would be the most likely area that this ship would get hit in combat, and having the launchers right there is a high value target. So putting that right up front makes it well where you're really pushing those to get destroyed. fairly quickly in combat, and I didn't want that to happen. So it will have launchers again, but they're not going to be here. They're going to be somewhere else, probably on the wings somewhere. I kept the horns and things like that, so I'm trying to, blend it between the original and the Bahamut. If you just kind of like, if you're doing like a morph between the two, is what I'm trying to accomplish. But I want to keep a lot of the integrity of the original look of being a pretty hardcore dragon. So that's where I'm at right now on this one. So this is one of the projects, and believe it or not, I did a lot of tweaking and tooling around with what I've got here. I'm not entirely happy with it. There are some parts I'm not sure if I should be doing. Like I got these little flare things on the front here. And I don't know if that's accomplishing anything. Stuff like that, but I'll keep on working on it. Another thing I did do, obviously on the neck over here, I was kind of explaining how the neck was really long and then it kind of pretty abruptly went into the body. Here I'm trying to have a shorter neck, but I'm extending the body out at a lot more of a slope here, which is actually would generate a lot more interior space as well. Like this whole area here didn't exist on the original, or this part down here. So there's a lot of little things that's going through my head on trying to do this, and it's a fun project. It's going to be a learning experience for me. I actually quick chat with the author yesterday. I was just saying, yeah, I'm actually scared of this project. I don't get too scared of too many things, but this one scares me because it's definitely pretty complicated. Trying to do all these things and to keep it look right. To make it look right in the process. So the other project I'm working on here, obviously, is this Perses CV3, and I think I will, after I asked the question, a few people said, yeah, Perses name is fine. There are some other great names that you could call this. You could call this all kinds of different things, but it would fit. It's a little smaller and it's a little different than the Perses CV2, obviously, but it's a newer model. And is trying to accommodate for all the things that changed in the game since the Perses and Perses CV2 were made. So I'm trying to be a little bit smaller, a little bit more optimal on blocks used, a lot of different things. But trying to maintain the core function of what the Perses was, which is a carrier with a big hangar and farm and production and all that stuff. So I plan on having all that in there. And addition, any new features that the game added since that was built. There's quite a few, as well as putting in a secure bridge somewhere in this one too. Obviously, a cockpit like this, it's safer because it's moved quite a bit back from the front of the ship, which is great if you get into some kind of combat scenario. But it's also quite weak. This glass is weak. About the only thing you can do with glass if you want to have a visible cockpit is double it up, like maybe another layer of glass over the front, but then that makes it super dark and extremely hard to see through, which kind of is self-defeating as well, so I don't want to do that. So the only solution I've really found is to have two bridges on combat or ships that could get into combat. Now this one is combat steel right now. I might try to go to a hybrid scenario on this one where might have more combat steel on the front, but then maybe transition to a lot of hardened steel. It all depends on how it flies, and when I get this all done, if it seems a little too sluggish. Now, it is a carrier though. It's not like a combat ship, but I'm trying to make it work for a lot of scenarios. Light combat, I would say. It doesn't have a super large amount of turrets on it, and currently doesn't have any launchers. Now the original Perses, I had launchers again in the front, but this is actually kind of a bad thing to do. Expensive, but your most deadly weapon you have on the ship is actually right in the front, where it would get hit the quickest. And same thing with the launchers on the bottom over here. So I purposely did not want to put those back in those spots. And then with CPU and everything like that is, well, I don't know. I'll have to work that out. But I have a potential place I had some launcher positions down in this area back over here, which is in a much better place not to get hit. by stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. Color scheme on this one is going to be well, this is all white box right now, so you can't really tell, but I'm definitely going for the grayest look. Then I'll have, again, like the Trebuchet, a dab of color here and there, but not very much. And it's mostly a whole bunch of shades of gray. And there's actually like 5 different shades of gray involved in this, and it's really hard to tell the difference sometimes between one shade or the other, but I'll keep playing with it. And this is just the first run of textures on just this area over here too, so take a little tweaking to get everything right. And right now I'm kind of like faced with, well, I'm doing some block work over here, and I got a ton of texturing to do over there. So it's time-consuming stuff. It's not very interesting to watch. It's just a lot of the same over and over and over again until you get it done. Now, on recent ships, I didn't do the runways I didn't do landing pads that way. I would usually use this texture. But in this case, I was trying to make the runways look more like concrete, I guess you could say, because of just how it's set up. So I'm kind of experimenting, kind of dialing it back on how I would normally do this, and go back to how I actually did do it on the other Perses. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about this, and I'm curious on how this is eventually going to come out. Got a lot of work to do on it, and took like quite a while just to do what I did with the head. A lot of I moved. When I first started copying and pasting some things around, like bringing this up, I moved it one location, and then I changed some blocks, and I'm like, oh no, that should be over here now. Oh no, I did it too far up. Now it should be back over here. So it's just, make a change, look at it, review it, make a change, look at it, review it, change it again. And that's kind of the whole process is going to be on this one, I think. Just curious on your thoughts. One last thing too. Now, this was intended to be an AI only ship. Basically something that would shoot at you in game. It is possible, due to some of the changes I'm making here, and like a little bit like the neck's not as long, I'm adding some more girth or whatnot in this area, that I could probably set this up to be more player usable as well. Just more room inside for stuff. And maybe I'll originally just try to set this up to be more player oriented, but then again, I don't know how it's going to come out yet. I don't know. But hey, gotta try. Anyway, you all have yourself a good day, and tomorrow I should be doing a look at the workshop again, and gonna start picking out some things to look at. So I'll have to head up to the workshop, and there's been so many just amazing creations that are coming to the workshop constantly that, I mean, there's so much to pick from to look at. I just try to get around and try to look at different authors every time, for the time being, trying to find those hidden gems, but they are hard to find, and it could take a lot of time to find those too. So I mean, it's obviously easier, typically what I'm doing, looking at like the most popular over a period of time, or current workshop ones, and stuff like that. But I know there's a lot being missed. I know there's these ones that might have been amazing, but somehow, no one's seen them, so they never got the ratings and things like that to appear in these other lists. But then again, they're extremely hard to find on the workshop. It's like, I wish I could just do a search. I want to see all the coolest stuff, and it would just show me all the coolest stuff. But it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. We need some kind of AI to know what cool stuff is. Other than that, it takes a lot of time to go through a lot of creations to find those things. Just saying. Anyway, y'all have yourself a good day. I will talk to you later.